Here is a story about a black man who faced racial injustice in the criminal justice system. Marcus had been counting down the days until his release from prison. He had served his time, completed his programs, and was eager to reunite with his family and start rebuilding his life. But when his release date arrived, he was not let out. Instead, he was told that there was a problem with his paperwork and that he needed to wait a few more days. Days turned into weeks, and Marcus grew increasingly frustrated and desperate. He knew that he had done everything right and that there was no legitimate reason for the delay. He began to suspect that his race was the real reason for the holdup. Marcus was a black man, and he knew that the criminal justice system was not always just or fair. He had seen it firsthand, watching as white inmates were given preferential treatment and released on time, while black inmates like him were left to languish. Treatment and released on time, while black inmates like him were left to languish. Marcus's family and friends rallied around him, calling the prison and demanding answers. But the officials stonewalled them, offering only vague excuses and empty promises. Finally, after months of delay, Marcus was released. But the experience had left him shaken and angry. He knew that he had been victimized by a system that was supposed to be fair and impartial, but was instead tainted by racism and bias. Marcus vowed to fight for justice and to use his experience to help others who had faced similar injustices. He became an advocate for criminal justice reform, working to expose the systemic racism that had almost cost him his freedom. Thanks to his determination and courage, Marcus's story helped bring attention to the issue of racial disparities in the criminal justice system, inspiring change and paving the way for a more just and equitable future. After his release from prison, Marcus was determined to prove himself and fight for a cause he believed in. He decided to join the army, not just to serve his country, but to show that black lives matter. Marcus knew that the military was an institution that valued strength, courage, and sacrifice, and he was determined to prove that black men like him embodied those values. He wanted to challenge the stereotypes and biases that had haunted him throughout his life, and show that black people were just as capable and deserving of respect as anyone else. Marcus threw himself into his training, pushing himself to his limits and beyond. He excelled in his unit, earning the respect and admiration of his comrades and superiors. He proved himself to be a skilled and dedicated soldier, and his bravery and leadership earned him numerous commendations and awards. As he served, Marcus became a role model for other black soldiers, showing them that they too could succeed and make a difference. He also became an advocate for racial justice within the military, speaking out against discrimination and bias, and working to create a more inclusive and equitable environment for all soldiers. Through his service, Marcus proved that black lives matter, not just in words, but in actions. He showed that black people are capable of greatness, and that their lives have value and purpose. And when he finally returned home, a decorated hero, he knew that he had made a difference, and that his life had truly mattered. Marcus's dedication and bravery in the army earned him a promotion to sergeant, and he became a respected leader among his peers. He continued to serve with honor and distinction, and his story inspired countless others to follow in his footsteps. After his military service, Marcus returned to civilian life and began to share his story with the world. He wrote a best-selling book about his experiences, from his wrongful arrest to his triumphs in the army. He became a sought-after speaker, sharing his message of hope and resilience with audiences across the country. Marcus's story also caught the attention of policymakers and activists, who were inspired by his courage and determination. He was invited to testify before Congress, sharing his insights on criminal justice reform and racial equality. Through his advocacy, Marcus helped to bring about real change, inspiring reforms that aimed to address the systemic biases he had faced. He became a beacon of hope for marginalized communities, proof that even in the darkest moments, there is always a way forward. Years later, Marcus sat in his office, surrounded by the medals and accolades he had earned. He looked out at the world, knowing that he had made a difference. And when he told his story, his voice was filled with pride, knowing that he had truly lived a life that mattered. As Marcus's book and speaking career took off, he found himself earning a significant income. But he never forgot his humble beginnings, and he was determined to use his success to give back to his community. Marcus began sponsoring charity homes for at-risk youth, providing them with a safe and supportive environment to grow and thrive. He also established a scholarship fund, providing financial assistance to young people who wanted to pursue higher education. Through his foundation, Marcus supported a range of initiatives, from food banks to healthcare clinics, all aimed at addressing the systemic inequalities he had faced. He became a beloved figure in his community, known for his generosity and compassion. One day, Marcus received a visit from a young man who had grown up in one of the charity homes he sponsored. The young man, now a successful college graduate, came to thank Marcus for believing in him and giving him a chance to succeed. Marcus was overcome with emotion, knowing that his work was making a real difference in people's lives. He continued to sponsor charity homes and support his community, inspired by the knowledge that he was helping to create a brighter future for generations to come. Years later, Marcus's foundation had grown into a national organization, supporting thousands of people across the country. And Marcus, the man who had once been wrongfully arrested and imprisoned, had become a champion of hope and second chances. His legacy a testament to the power of resilience and generosity. Marcus's foundation had become a symbol of hope and unity, and he wanted to take his message of love and acceptance to the next level. So, he made a decision that would change his life forever. He adopted a white child, a young boy named Jack. Marcus knew that some people might raise an eyebrow at his decision, but he didn't care. He believed that family was about love, not skin color. And he wanted to show the world that there was no such thing as racism, only love and acceptance. As Jack grew up, Marcus showered him with love and support, teaching him about the importance of equality and justice. Jack thrived under Marcus's care, and soon became a confident and compassionate young man. Together, Marcus and Jack traveled the country, speaking out against racism and discrimination. They shared their story with the world, showing that love knows no color. And as they spoke, they inspired countless others to follow in their footsteps, adopting children of all races and backgrounds. Marcus's message of love and acceptance resonated with people from all walks of life, and soon he was hailed as a hero and a symbol of hope. He proved that family is not about skin color, but about the love we share. And he showed that with love and acceptance, we can overcome even the greatest challenges. Years later, Jack grew up and had children of his own, and Marcus was proud to be a grandfather to a beautiful multiracial family. And as he looked at his family, he knew that his message of love and acceptance had changed the world. But Jack didn't stop there. He also became a powerful voice against racism and discrimination, using his platform to speak out against injustice and promote love and acceptance. He traveled the country, sharing his father's story and his own, inspiring countless others to join the fight for a more equal and just society. As Jack's reputation grew, he was approached by leaders from around the world, asking for his help in addressing issues of inequality and discrimination. He worked with governments, organizations, and communities to develop programs and policies that promoted unity and inclusivity. And through it all, Jack never forgot the lessons he had learned from his father. He remained humble, kind, and compassionate, always putting the needs of others before his own. He became a beloved figure, known for his wisdom, his empathy, and his unwavering commitment to justice.